Okay, we are back. All right. Well, we had to take care of some stuff real quick. Oh my goodness. And we're going to continue on with the live here. Let me get this all situated and stuff because I don't know what happened to my computer and to the, uh-oh. Let's see. Back. We should be on another live right now. So part one, I had to leave very unexpectedly, but we are back on right now. So, oh my goodness. Yep. So we're back on live again. Let's see how many people are on here. I just got a hold of my buddy Kurt, who is my right-hand man on the Pikes Peak RC Race News channel on the Facebook. So he covers more of the bashing, the rock crawling stuff, all that other great stuff. So I left off talking about the tires and stuff like that from Dialed RC, using buggy coming out with the V7 and the V5. All right, so if you guys watched that past live video, yeah, the V7 and V5 currently for the Truggy, and then coming out soon will be the V1. This is a buggy here, buggy tire, but the V1 will have the crossbars up on the top tread for the new Truggy tire coming out beginning of, I want to say probably towards the end of May, beginning of June. They're getting manufactured right now. Gene's already taken pre-orders. So if you go on to Dialed RC Hobbies and check it out, you'll see a spot there when you go into the Truggy tires to order the V1s. All right, they look like they're available, but they're not. They're only for pre-order right now. So that's where we're at with the new V1 tires. I want to say there probably might be a V2 version on top of the V1 version for the buggy. We'll see. Depends how that goes with the Truggy. People have been asking for new Truggy tires and stuff like that. So again, I got the V7s and the V5s here. So I'm going to go ahead and load these yellow foams up into these V1s that I got. These are mine. I'll go ahead and get John and Jason squared away with theirs here later on this evening, and I'll probably do another video on that of gluing and stuff. I've done a video of it before, but again, we can still do videos, you know what I'm saying? So I had to take care of I had to end the last video live. Fiance found a squirrel in the house. Not a full-grown squirrel, because that thing would have barked and chirped and did everything at me, but this one was a little baby, so it looks like it fell out of the attic. Looks like Rich was up in the attic and didn't put the cover back on, and we had a baby fall through. So my fiance has been hearing crying for the past couple days, and then she went to go investigate, and sure enough, right when she opened up the door to the back room, there's a baby squirrel saying, "Help me," at her. So we freaked out a little bit, and I took care of it, and then fed it and gave it some water, and then found its little nest up there in the attic. So I was like, I'll wait for him to go ahead and reunite him to his mommy, and then go ahead and seal off. I got a feeling where I know where it went into, and we sealed it off before, but I got a feeling this squirrel always comes back, and this is our big squirrel that's around the house, so we will see. All right, so again, I had a humongous order that came in. If you guys saw in the last live video that happened here about 15-20 minutes ago, I got 3 boxes, one huge one, of all the Dialed RC tires that came in between John, myself, and Jason, who I will be racing with this weekend over at TNR, so I can get some track time and get ready for TNR, St. Patrick's Bonanza. Again, I will go into a little bit more detail with, and then talking to Jeremy on tires and stuff. Again, at the same time, as with everybody else, I am still learning my tire game. Again, a little bit better at it. Still no pro at it, but again, adjusting fire to the temperatures, to the track conditions, to the track media itself, i.e. the media being what kind of, is it clay, is it loose, is it, is it red dirt, is it sand, so on and so forth, is it loamy, is it not loamy? So yeah, just learning a little bit more and more of that stuff, and I feel like I'm missing a tire somewhere. Am I? No, I'm not. Okay, so I'm gonna get these all situated. These are my tires here, and I got John's, and it looks like, I want to say Gene gifted me some tires. I want to say he did. I think he did. Let me see here. Off-road tires, obviously, which are mine, the Cobras. And then I ordered, no, he did not gift me. Those were on my order itself. Where is that paper? I had the paper, and now I lost the paper. Where's that paper at? But in the last live, again, talking about the St. Patrick's Bonanza to include the LRC Club Race Series. So first things first, the LRC Club Race Series, which is up in north of Denver, in the Longmont area. If you guys go ahead and type in on Google Maps, LRC Raceway, it will pop up right there, right next to the reservoir, headed by Graham Hill. All right, so Graham Hill is team manager for this region for Techno and racing with the big wigs and stuff. So again, that'll be the LRC Club Race Series race number 1. And Friday we'll kick off with practice. All right, so practice will be from noon to 5 p.m. That'll be for practice. And then Saturday, March 14th, practice at 7 a.m. to 9:30, and then immediately jumping into the Club Race Series race number 1 from there. All right, so there's going to be 2 different formats, and the formats are going to determine the amount of entries that are going to be entering. All right, so format number 1, any entries and below. He'll do 2 rounds of 5-minute qualifiers, a rocket round, and then 15-minute nitro mains and double 7-minute electrics, no bumps. Okay, so again, no bumps. That will be for 70 entries or below, and that'll be format number 1. Now, format number 2 will be 80 entries or more. If we have 80 entries or more, and hopefully we have that, we'll have 2 rounds of 5-minute qualifiers, a rocket round with the 12-minute nitro mains, and then single 10-minute electrics with bumps. All right, so you can see the difference between the 2 depending on how many people show up. All right, so 70 and under will be format number 1, and then format number 2 will be 80 plus. Again, this is on the LRC Raceway Garage Facebook page. You guys can see it right there. All right, sign up required before track time. All right, so that goes for practice and race day. All right, you must sign in before you get on the track Friday or Saturday. All right, big bold letters that say that. All right, everyone is limited to 2 classes. All right, you can't enter more than 2 classes. So either Truggy Nitro, Truggy Electric, or Buggy Nitro, Buggy Electric, or Buggy Electric and Truggy Nitro, choose your poison, however you want it. You're limited to 2 classes. All right, so your first class will be $30 and your second class will be $20. All right, so again, now I'll be reiterating on from the last video, or the last live video that just happened on the LRC Club Race Series. Okay, then next week will be the kickoff for the St. Patrick's Bonanza, headed by Thomas and Rome, TNR Raceway. All right, don't get that mixed up with TNR Fuels, TNR Raceway. All right, so March 27th through the 29th, St. Patrick's Bonanza, 3 6-minute qualifiers, 30-minute nitro mains, sportsman and pro, 8-minute electric double A mains, lower mains 20-minute, lower electric mains 10-minute, and novice single 10-minute. All right, so that's how the racing's going to go. And then for the awards, we'll go to the top 5 in TQ. So we'll have a pro e-buggy, we'll have a nitro buggy, nitro truggy, sportsman e-buggy, sportsman nitro truggy, sportsman nitro buggy. Then we'll have open e-truggy, novice, which will only be a $20 entry fee. All right, and I'll get into the other entry fees on top of this. All right, so just remember, novice, entry fee. Then we'll have a 40 plus nitro buggy, a 40 plus e-buggy. All right, that'll be the E40, and then SCT doing it for David. All right, so those are our classes for TNR Raceway St. Patrick's Bonanza. All right, so the schedule as follows. Friday, all right, will be the kickoff day. All right, remember, this is the 3-day event. Friday, 3/27, we'll have 7 a.m. will be pit setup. All right, and I'm sure it'll go throughout the whole day, depending what time you show up. Then 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. practice. All right, that's a whole entire day to practice to get your vehicle dialed in. Again, the track is going to be very, very green when you first get there in the morning. Also, the temperature will also play a big deal into it. Obviously, it's indoor, so again, probably the track temps will probably maintain the same. So again, justify your tire selection, your compound selection from there. Okay, so that again, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. practice. Then on Saturday, we kick it off from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. late arrival practice. So if you didn't practice Friday, you'll get to practice Saturday for about an hour or so. All right, and then we'll have an 8:45 a drivers meeting, again going over the rules, driver etiquette, marshals, so forth, locations of everything. That will be the drivers meeting at 8:45. 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. will be qualifying. So for all the classes that I just mentioned, depending on how people entered, yeah, qualifying will end at 8 p.m. All right, so I'll start at 9 a.m., ends at 8 p.m., maybe sooner, maybe later, depends how everything goes. Please be at where you need to be, especially when it comes to marshaling, so on and so forth, helping out, making the program go smooth. All right. Then Sunday, the final day, will be March 29th. It'll be 8:30 a.m. starting sharp. Then that'll be the mains going till it ends. Okay. So again, give you a time frame, 3 6-minute qualifiers. Again, 30-minute nitro mains, sportsman and pro. And then 8-minute electric double A mains. Lower mains are 20-minute. Lower electric mains are 10-minute, and novice single will be 10 minutes. So again, you can get the time frame of that, and then the transition between the races, so on and so forth, and you know, delays here and there, racers minutes, so on and so forth. So a lot of those things play in there. All right, so let's hope to God it goes smooth. All right. So we know Thomas and Rome to make everything go smooth, especially with their TNR races. This will be my first TNR races, but it'll be good to see everybody out there, to include my first time being out there at LRC up north of Denver. So actually get to sit down and talk to Graham one-on-one, which will actually be pretty cool. All right. So again, those are the 2 main events that are coming up. Like I said, the LRC Club Race Series Part 1, or race number 1, and then the St. Patrick's Bonanza. All right. TNR Raceway used to host 3 races. I think this year they're only doing 2. I think last year they only did 2. So there'll be another coming up towards the end of the year. And most definitely I will be at that race as well. All right. And then continue on going to the LRC Raceway races, to include the faster laps ones that Matt Kyle has, if I'm back from my trips. And usually if I'm out on trips, and depending on location, I will bring my RCs depending on what they race there, i.e. my ovals or my on-road or 10 scale off-road, or obviously the 8 scale off-road. It all depends what location I'm at. So if I do go back to Hawaii, and Jeremy was just on the last live, we will see. I may bring my buggy, you know, again, or the truggy. Either one. It has to be one or the other. So either one, it'll be one of the two. All right. Last live, I was talking about doing a modification on the EB48 2.2. All right. And I talked about, I didn't do anything to my son's. He's already out driving me already. But I needed something that handles like my truggy. And I was introduced to it by my good friend, by my mentor, Justin Simonson. And then tapping on that one would be Rob P on that. All those guys out of Extreme RC Raceway over there in Ladson, South Carolina, Charleston area. And again, that's what started off my whole 8-scale racing and stuff. And those guys got me hooked on it. I blame them. So if my fiance wants anybody to blame, it'll be them, to include Rafi. But, so they're using the the wide pivot mod out there to include the short shock tower mod. And again, that's transferring your front shocks to the rear and then using the rear shocks off of a short course truck, a 410 2.0 or whatever. You're using the shocks off of that. And then obviously you're using your same spring rates. I have my my setup sheet from Justin himself from So Dialed. I'll be using that because pretty much all my vehicles are based off of Justin Simonson. So again, I've been driving very comfortable, been very confident with those setups. And yeah, he won't steer me the wrong way. So again, yeah, I'll be using it. And Rob P finally beat Justin in Maine. I think it was not too long ago. So that's actually pretty cool. Their friendly rivalry going on and stuff. So, which will actually be pretty neat. I was about to mount these wheels right onto the tires, and I totally forgot. I got to clean the wheels and tires before I do that. So you want to do that always before mounting your wheels and tires. You'll see that it has a lot of that that stuff that's around here to keep the tires from deteriorating and stuff. You want to clean that off with Simple Green. Please do not use alcohol or anything like that, or acetone or whatever. Use Simple Green. Just dab it on a rag and just right around it, cleaning all that residue off, right? And then to include, take a little bit of sandpaper or some scuff pad or some steel wool or whatever. Just scuff around. It's already roughed up already, but you want to make sure you get some good adherence with your glue, because that sucks when your tire becomes debeaded off of your wheel. It's happened before. All right, so again, those are my V1s that I will be using for race. And then I got another couple sets here that are mounted, and I got another set of wheels that I'll be mounting them on as well too. So I'll have a complete 4 sets, because my son will be racing his buggy both at TNR and LRC. So he's definitely hooked on the buggy. He loves, I think he drives the buggy better than he drives his truggy, but then again, his buggy was tuned. Again, that's a ZB special from Exalt, and yeah, we're super stoked on that. So yeah, you're running these tires, running the super softs. These are mine, and then I'll get to gluing John and Jason's wheels and tires for them, so that way they don't have nothing to worry about when it comes to race day. Seriously, if you guys want some cotton candy grapes, go to Sam's Club. My fiance just brought me some. They're great. Oh, I can get my wheels, tires. I got to glue my V7s as well. And if you're on the chat, go ahead and say hi. Kurt, are you on? If you are on, Kurt, go ahead and share this. I'm going to try to get on my computer again and see what happened, because I don't know what's going on with my stuff. My computer, I don't know. Probably telling me I need to get another computer. I got my work computer, but obviously I can't use that. Also, what I want to touch up on at the TNR event, probably at the LRC event as well too. All right, I'll have some towels with me and I'll be giving them out. If you guys want a towel, just come up to me, ask me for a towel. I'll hook you guys up with a towel. Got some pretty cool towels. They'll all have different designs on them, mainly techno stuff, but I'll have some Pikes Peak Race News towels out there as well too. So if you guys want a towel, what's up, dude? Kurt, if you don't mind, share it on the page. Again, I did go live on the last one. Had to cut it short because I had to go save a baby squirrel that my fiance but I had to reunite it with its family. It sucks. I had to reunite it with its family up in the attic. So, oh well. I'll wait for them to get bigger and they go do their own little thing, and then I'll seal it off, because I know where they're at. It's been watching all your little rock crawling videos. You can grab these other wheels and tires. These are John's. Nope, don't need those. All right. Okie dokie. again, you guys already know that I did put the LRC Club Race Series on there. And yeah, if you want, Kurt, go ahead and go. Oh man, I'll have to share it from there. I know there's like 4 people watching. Who's all watching? Hi. There's 4 of y'all watching. I know my fiance is watching. Kurt's watching. Who else is watching? Say hi. All right. Wave, say hi. Again, we had a huge order come in from Dialed RC. Thanks to Gene. If you guys need tires ordered, you guys are going to have to wait a couple days because Gene is on vacation. So I think mine was the last order that got sent out, or last huge order, because we got a bunch of wheels and tires that came in for both, or for all 3 of us, for Jason, myself, and John. And then hopefully I got the, went down the rabbit hole with the SCX10 and Revo. Yeah, I've seen that. I've been watching little videos out there. Remember, Matt Kyle over at Faster Laps does have a Run What You Brung class. So I want to see Kurt and Ziggy, David Jackman, go at it. David Jackman's got an old school rig. I'm talking old school rig. I don't think there's parts for it. But the Revo, there's still plenty of parts for the Revo. And I used to have a Revo. I had a Revo 3.3 at one time, and that was pretty cool. That was one, I think that was like my 3rd or 4th nitro vehicle, but that was an old one, and I enjoyed that vehicle a lot. All right, let's go. We are live now. Let's see. Let's go on there. I should have invited everybody, but again, I went back up on here real quick, and then what's up, Corey? We're about to have a big race up here at LRC, his Club Race Series, and then we're going to have TNR. So with Roman, actually just got off the phone with Roman a couple days ago, talking with him. I'll be doing a lot of videography and photography over there. So I got a new camera rig and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people, I know Jeremy has been asking what camera rigs I use and stuff. And I want to say probably one of the best camera rigs I've used so far is the DJI Nano. This thing is awesome. It doesn't get overheated and stuff. I just picked this up recently over in Guam. So the main DJI distributor is based out of Guam. And I got a really awesome deal on this from Bert Manansala over there in Guam. Especially with all the tariffs and stuff, it's hard to get things. Sitting in Myrtle Beach Airport right now, waiting for flight to Tampa. Oh, I keep on forgetting Corey's in Florida. I just saw Ellie's picture of her going back to school. That was actually awesome. I bet she's loving Florida. And you definitely ain't missing nothing here in Colorado with the freaking snow. Yesterday it was warm as can be. This morning was cold as hell. And then looking out through the basement lighting, looks like there's sunny outside, but it's probably still cold outside. Again, I got all these tires and stuff. I know Corey's having a blast out there. He's going to get back into the whole RC thing. I know he's out of touch with it, and I know he's itching. Also, one of the last videos that I did, I had my buddy James Hart that I started racing with over there in South Carolina. They got their own little business. RJ Race Mats. All right. So RJ Race Mats on gmail.com. They're also on Facebook. And it looks like pretty much everybody over there on the East Coast is jumping on top of these because there is no pit mat that covers a whole complete table. If you see right here, I got a ProTech RC1 that only covers up probably about half of there. And then you got your pit boards. They don't cover and stuff. And then, yeah, he needs to go to Beachline. I got one here that doesn't cover all the way as well too. I got another one that's up there. It only covers up to about 3.5, 4 feet. But this one, they made these guys, they made this for me, which is, takes up a whole entire table, and it's their pit mat. So they gifted this to me. It has Extreme RC Raceway on there, Faster Laps, Pikes Peak RC Arena, has my name down there on the bottom corner, which is actually pretty cool. A logo that my fiance did. She's very, very proud of this. And again, all my sponsors on here from We'll go from Techno, Dial RC, LFR, Pro One Design. I'll talk about Pro One Design later. And then Gents. I'm obviously not sponsored by Avid, but I am a big supporter of them since they are local here in Colorado. All right, so yes, I know David Jor and his manager and a couple of their drivers. So you got David Jor, his right-hand man, Zeke Bellinger, and then they got some awesome drivers that are part of that team, and they're very, very elite when it comes to the racing and stuff. So mainly Pikes Peak RC Arena used to be their test bed, their test facility. Now it is up at 5280. So if you guys are wanting to race some awesome carpet racing and have some awesome competition, go up to 5280. They do a lot. They do off-road carpet now. They started that last year, and headed by Art Screamo. And you guys can check them out there. And then they still got their Mini Z going on, and they still do their on-road racing as well too. All right. So, Corey, looks like there is a brand new asphalt on-road touring car track out there. You need to check that out. Jeff Kaplan just posted it. So go ahead, check out those pictures. I don't know where it's at, but I'm going to tell you right now, it is a beautiful, perfectly built track. It's outdoors, but I don't know. I'll send you some. I got some Jaycos here I could send you. Some 34s. That'll be perfect for that. If you want it, if you need some for your touring car. So let me know. Again, I haven't seen John or Jason on yet. Yes, please check it out, because I'll tell you right now, that is a beautiful track. I want to say probably about the same size as what the arena was, if not a little bit bigger, but actually it looks very promising. Again, Jeff Kaplan just posted on there, and I know you know him. So he's been racing that Mini Z stuff, but he's got hooked on touring car. I think you probably get him hooked on whatchamacallit, the pan car as well too. So yes, please check it out, Corey. That'll be awesome if you do. Again, if you guys are out at TNR and you guys are out at LRC, I will be passing out a bunch of towels for you guys. All you guys do is come up to me and ask, and I will most definitely give you guys, and that'll be the extent of what I give you. No, I'm just playing. But I got some towels, the new design and stuff, the new Techno design. And then speaking of Techno did just come out with some new shirts. On top of Avid coming out with their new tires, which were sold out in the first 24 hours. They are back in stock. So if you guys are still racing carpet and you guys want some awesome carpet tires that been in the works, that been in the design for a while, then you guys might have seen David or Zeke testing them or whatnot. They're finally available back on the page. All right, so go to avidrc.com and yeah, they should have some more tires. All right. Well, things went up in price, which is, had to be with the tariffs and stuff. I get it. But again, their price is still very, very reasonable. And if you are prior service or military, they do offer a military discount. As with most of the RC companies around here, Dialed RC, Techno offers a great, awesome military discount. You just got to show proof of it. That's all you got to do. All right. I'll promote these grapes today, though. Cotton candy grapes from Sam's Club. Never tried them before, but these are awesome. Usually the green grapes are sour. These cotton candy grapes are great. All right. I got all of John's tires here, so I'll be working on these today. I'll glue mine last. I'll glue all my tires last because I want to make sure John and Jason are taken care of. So glue them up a couple sets, and then I'll leave it to them to glue up there. So I'll probably glue their 1 or 2 sets for them a piece. That way they can, they can enjoy gluing their own wheels and tires. I don't know who enjoys that. I do. Doesn't bother me a bit. Got very, very good at it, especially when you got a gluing jig. So again, Dialed RC did come out with their 3rd iteration for a Truggy, the V1 here, like I showed you not too long ago, but with a center bar in the center. So again, think of a reflex and a relapse put together, and that's what you got. But man, I'll tell you what, you can't go wrong with the V1s, especially with the track condition that we're going to be dealing with over there in up at North, to include TNR as well too. So I'll glue my wheels and tires later on, but I'll definitely take care of John and Jason real quick for a couple of theirs, so they know they can just jump right in driving and practicing with theirs. So they want to try out the dialed RC. Gave them a great deal on the wheels and tires, and if you guys are needing, just hit me up. Definitely help you guys out getting the tires. There was a fast shipment for these. If you order $500 or more in tires, shipping is free. Other than that, it's averaging between $9, $14, and $19 on shipping, depending on how much you get. All right, so I will glue mine later. I got a bunch of buggy tires because my son wants to race buggy, so I want to make sure he's always constantly on the same tire. He's not changing so much, and going from there. All right, so I got John's right here. I'll glue 2 sets for John on his V1. So John's going different routes than what we normally go, but John, I don't know, he's always got good judgment. He's always driving awesome. He's one of those drivers that adapt very well to any condition, and he does well with that. All right, and then I have, let's see, obviously those are, wait. Yep, these are John's. I just saw some yellow ones here, and those are Jason's. V5s. I think he went all V5s. Oh, yes, he did. So I'll glue up a set for John on the truggies. I know Jason just finished building his truggy and stuff, and I can't wait to race with him. Love racing with Jason. We're always pretty much almost neck and neck, but he's been out driving me in 8 scale. Yep, I'll make sure. We had over 72 tires come in. If you guys watched the last live video that came in, we have a lot of tires. So again, I'm gonna hook up John real quick with the set. When you order a set, so the sets differ from buggy and truggy. A set for truggy only comes as a pair, so you have to order 2 sets to make or 2 pairs to make a whole complete set. And then with buggy, you order a set, you get 4 wheels and tires. So I'll go ahead and help John out with his stuff, and they all come with cool stickers, and I just lost a sticker. I'll give him some sticker sheets anyways. Dialed RC offers some great sticker sheets and stuff like that. Usually throw 1 or 2 in there. Gene will give me a couple more, and I'll give those out to those. So again, these are all filled with yellow foams. Like I said before, Dialed RC has 12 different patterns or tread patterns, to include multiple compounds. And then again, you get your choice of wheels, dish or spoked, in 3 different colors: yellow, black, or white. And then on top of that, you can choose your foams of whatever you want. So pink, yellow, and black. These are in the middle. So I got a couple wheels and tires that have the pink foams, and I haven't had no issues with those, but I was using those out there in Hawaii. So again, it all depends how the track is, how you know, again, I'm still old tire game and stuff. So these are John's wheels and tires here. And you know, most of your wheels and tires, that will always come scuffed right here, but you still want to go ahead and, you know, still clean them up. Well, not in this case, they are very rough. So I'll just go ahead and run some Simple Green in them. And I don't know what I did with the Simple Green. It's probably up there. So if my fiance is watching this, my love, can you please bring me down some Simple Green underneath the sink? Because my other Simple Green is packed away in my race box. If you don't mind. I hear her walking. But yes, for those that don't know, Corey is out in Florida enjoying that sunny weather where there's racing year round. And there's a new track being built over there in Florida. And then on top of what Jeff Kaplan just posted over there in for on-road touring car. And that's one of my favorite classes to run is my touring car, to include my buggy, my two-wheel drive buggy.
Want some chicken this now?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I got grapes right now. Chicken. She's making enchiladas right now. Hold on, let me grab a rag so I can go ahead and clean these wheels and tires real quick. Again, we got an awesome race coming up this weekend with LRC Raceway Garage, headed by Graham Hill. And this whole bottle is wet. Her hands must have been wet. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these with some Simple Green. Please don't use alcohol. Don't use acetone. For those that use acetone to separate their rubber and break away that glue, make sure you wash your wheels very, very good. And then on top of that, use Simple Green to clean it. It'll get rid of all that powdery residue that acetone leaves behind and stuff. So yes, with these, I'll go ahead and clean them. And then I'll go ahead and clean the rubbers because they got some preservative residue on the tires. So you want to make sure you use very, very well. Again, don't use alcohol. Always use the Simple Green. Simple Green's always been there. And Gene puts that out in his videos. If you go on to Dialed RC Hobbies on the Facebook page, he does that. He goes on there. He literally iterates, do not use alcohol to clean your tires. I think it's something with drying out the rubber or something. I don't know. So, or doesn't get the preservative all the way off. But I'll tell you what, Simple Green does. So you want to go on both sides of the tire here and do that. Again, I had a couple of you guys asking, and I said this in the last live video as well too, for those that are asking about these shirts. I had these shirts made in Guam. It was a 2-day turnaround from Buenos half a day. Ken is the one that hooked me up. We went over there and sat through what colors I wanted, how I wanted. I submitted the pictures to him. He did the layout for me. Took a couple of days once we had, everything figured out because I had 2 different designs done. And I'll show you here in a second. And then it ended up being a 2-day turnaround on getting the shirts printed. He printed me 12 shirts in 2 days on top of all thousands of customers that they got, because there's constantly people getting shirts done over there. Every time I turn around, there's 2 locations in Guam. In Dedido, and that's one of the villages. And then you have Aganya, which is another village. They're basically towns or cities, but we just call them villages over there. So 2 different locations. The first time was not that great, but I talked to Ken. He hit me up on Facebook Messenger, and he's taken care of me ever since. They have very, very high quality cotton shirts. You can do dry fit shirts. You can do long sleeve, however you want. They also do hoodies. My color fashion was gray, blue, and black. And yeah, like I said, he did those for me. You can also get them done in multiple colors and multiple fabric types other than cotton, right? So you can do polyester, you can do poly blend, so on and so forth, right? So my other design here, which you see, I'm wearing the gray shirt here. It's just the plain sponsor logos, and then obviously back plain logos. And then for the other colors, well, I got them all done one way or the other, but this one has the Polynesian tribal on there with the sponsors, again, with my last name. And it's got the design inside my last name. So again, that Polynesian floral arrangement, and then our Guam seal right there, representing my home and stuff like that. So got those done, 12 shirts at $30 a piece. If you want less than that, they're about $35. But again, the turnaround is very, very quick. Most people go in there and they just get a custom shirt made. Again, the car scene out there, which isn't that great, but again, a lot of people get car shirts and truck shirts done, and Toyotas are like the dominant thing. Not like in the off-road fashion, which they do, but they also like slamming the hell out of those things too. So that's another, you'll see a lot of Toyotas out there slammed. A lot of right-hand drive cars out there as well too. Everywhere you turn, there's a right-hand drive car. It's to the point where you can get a K truck out there for like $1,500 to $2,000. See them all the time over there for sale. So I was thinking, wanted to get one and keep it over at my uncle's house. All right. So I got these wheels and tires set up for John. That will be that set. Let me go ahead and pull out another set for him because he's got 4, and I'll have him glue his other set here. Again, cleaning these V1s, so they're all the same. Again, when you get the only tread pattern that has a directional pattern is the V7. All right, those are those diamond pattern. They have there's a certain way that the treads have to go on those. So again, that is on Dialed Hobbies RC, dialedhobbies.com or dialedrchobbies.com. You guys can check it out there. Also on Dialed on Facebook. There's a certain way those tires, they are directional. They have to go on a certain way. All right. So looks like all 3 of us, we went with the yellow inserts. Didn't want to mess around with the inserts too much. I don't, a lot of people, they modify their inserts. They start chopping them, so on and so forth. It becomes too much when you're modifying stuff. And you probably won't even notice a difference. With us type of drivers, sportsmen, club style drivers, meet and intermediate yet. Maybe John is. John's more intermediate. Yeah, you'll see that you won't see that much of a difference in playing with the inserts as much as the pros do, because again, that's every little minute second, just like the avid guys, man. Every little gram means something. It's just you never know. All right, so again, cleaning the residue off of John's tires. I'll glue 2 sets for him to include a set of truggies for him. Then he can glue the rest, but at least he'll have something to drive over there when it comes to LRC this weekend. And then we may have enough time if they want to order another batch of tires. I know they spent a pretty penny on this because this was, like I said, this was a huge order of 72 plus tires. So, and it came in 3 boxes. It was a lot. I wasn't expecting that big of a box. I remember people packing tape foam, so expand much. Yeah. So yes, and foam has changed a lot since then. Now it's all mostly closed set. And I know what foam you're talking about. It was more like that. I wish I had some here. I do got some old school tires, but they're in the box right there in my hoodie box. But it was like that. Golly, it's like couch foam in a sense. And yeah, those under expansion, these don't expand much. And now they come in different compounds as well too. And then different rib patterns and then different block patterns. They come out in all different ways now. And yeah, it's to the point where now people are actually gluing them to the wheel as well too, depending on what you want. Yeah, open cell stuff. These are all closed cell now. So there are a couple of people that are still using open cell, and I do see that method that Kurt was just saying right there on the live. So yeah, but yep, that was pretty much it. But now it's just, now on top of choosing your compound, your tread, and now you got to worry about foams. Oh my goodness, that's just too much, and that's one thing different with these. Let me pull these up real quick. Yes, definitely see the difference in those, but I won't talk about that. I already talked about that before. So Dialed RC wheels and tires. These ones again are for John, and I am wiping up the last of his residue on his tires. So he has great adhesion to his rubber to plastic here. So it's good to see all you guys. Super 77. Yeah, I was just using some Super 77 a while ago. I got some upstairs. I always keep Super 77 and 90 in stock because I'm always doing upholstery on cars, and that stuff works great. Or doing upholstery on these chairs and stuff. Like I got these, when we closed down the arena, I ended up buying these chairs from Corey It's Super 77. I did it in a JDM fashion using the brid fabric that I had left for JDM seat company, and I used their fabric to reupholster my seat there. You can get seats like that, but yeah, you're paying a pretty penny for those things. Again, I am using Simple Green to clean the wheels and tires. Please don't use alcohol. And for the longest time, I was using alcohol, and I did find my tires breaking loose from my wheel. It's not that I used bad glue or I didn't use too little of glue. It was just, I guess that's just not the right compound to use. And then if you're wiping down your wheels and tires with Simple Green, make sure you dry them off using the dry portion of your rag, and then let them sit for a second, let them breathe. All right. With these ones already, I can put these back in as I let those ones breathe out. And I'll do the blue dot on the inside for John here. Yeah, I was just talking to, asking him, you know, like, because he's raced at both areas and I haven't yet. And I'm super stoked. I've only raced here locally over at Faster Laps because I'm always constantly traveling. And then again, I came back on top of my parents, which was the main thing, their 50th anniversary, and surprising them, coming back to the mainland, because I told them I wasn't coming back from Guam. They thought I was staying there. And then my brother was in Puerto Rico, and then my other brother was in Washington. On top of that, yes, I needed to get some race time in so I can make the sponsors happy and stuff. And I will need to puncture some holes in that. So I need to go get my, where's my, so there is a hole puncher that you can get. Usually it's for leather and stuff. I don't have one. I just use my body reamer. Hold on. So I'm grabbing that right now. Ooh. Fiance is making some chicken enchiladas. Oh, that B7. Oh, you talking about my B7 hasn't hit the carpet since the arena? Yes, it did. It did touch over there in. It did touch over there in. In South Carolina. So, and I do have a brand new body on it. I got that new lead finger body on there. Oh my goodness. So it really has that old school look. Xavier Gallegos used that same body. So my B7, actually both Isaiah and I both got the B7s with the new lead. And then my B742, a lot. So I know Corey hasn't. So I see Paul and Kel out there. They've been Kel out there making podium, racing them Losi cars. Now it looks like Cole's got some new product in. He's got that new 128 Team Associated car in, that little scale thing there. So I'm sure somebody jumped on that. If you guys have not noticed, transponders have gone up in price ridiculously. That was something that John and I were talking about. We were kind of bummed on that. Thank God I stocked up on some. But here at Faster Laps, he runs those old school the old school transponders, and the new transponders don't work. So I end up borrowing from Matt, but all the other tracks, they all use that new RC4 program stuff. So I was hoping Matt would jump on top of Corey's RC4. Well, it looks like Corey sold it to the guy over there over at Elite RC Productions. So I wonder, how did that meeting go, Corey? If you're still watching, how did that meeting go? Since you're still waiting at the airport. I don't know if you checked out that new 8-scale track too, but again, check out that one that Jeff Kaplan just posted on his Facebook page. So, all right. Again, getting some wheels and tires prepped for John. These are non-directional tires. Again, the only tires that are directional are the V7s in both buggy and truggy. So they are directional, so they have to be glued and mounted a certain way. And I screwed that up already once to the point where I had to order Oh, you met Lefty as well too? I like Lefty. Lefty sounds like me right now, out of breath. Because I'm still getting used to the altitude, being over at sea level over in Guam and Hawaii. Oh my goodness. And then come back here. I was just out of breath just walking up the stairs. And I'm just like, ugh, let me take these off again. Yeah, still out of breath. You probably hear it in me a little bit, but had to end the last live for those that are tuning back in again. I had to end the last live because we had a baby squirrel in the house. And for the past couple of days, the fiance has been hearing crying. And I'm like, oh no, that's the TV. And I didn't know. She was like, I'm going to go search upstairs and see. And sure enough, she opened up a door and they both said hi to each other. Well, she necessarily didn't say hi. The squirrel did, but she necessarily didn't say hi. She came downstairs and saw a boogeyman underneath the bed or something. I don't know. So, but got it all taken care of. Got it reunited back to its little nest. It was up in the attic. I know I shouldn't have never put it back up in the attic, but I don't want that little thing to die either. So I'm sure it was weak and stuff. What is that?
Fruit dip for the grapes.
Fruit dip, as if I don't already have enough sugar in the grapes already because they're cotton candy.
Cream cheese fruit dip.
Cream cheese. It's actually pretty good. All right. So yeah, had to put the squirrel back up in the attic, and then when they get big enough, then they go venture out on their own because I do see Mama out there all the time in the backyard. It's like best friends with my John. And remount these back. These foams go over to this set. What motor you got in the Vanquish? So in the Vanquish, I have the new Hobbywing integrated ESC, that new Elite motor. So Bert hooked me up with that over there, and Bert Monticello hooked me up with that. And again, that body is over 95 pieces for that body. It's in full. It's actually the only there's like 3 other places that are printing this Jeep body, but now Bert's expanded to the point where he's making aftermarket body panels to go on top of this and aftermarket roll cage. Because since I was just there, dude's doing wonders. Now he's doing Toyota bodies, so he's pretty much got almost every single model of Toyota that he is 3D printing for the Vanquishes and the SCX 10 3s now, I think it is, or 4s or whatever. So to include the TRXs as well too from Traxxas. Yeah, he's doing a lot of Toyota and Jeep bodies because obviously that's the most dominant real vehicle over there are the Jeeps and Toyotas, just like how they are here in Colorado. Yeah, they're all ABS. So again, with the heat over there in Guam, it just melts PLA. I've seen bodies just collapse on itself. So the ABS he uses, and he's using bamboo printers to print them. And I want to say I think he has like 13 or 14 printers going at one time because he's got orders all over the world. And he's constantly going through the heads with them, maintaining them and stuff. But he's always 3D printing some stuff. Like he 3D printed me some, oh, where did the thing go? I just had it. I was just looking at it not too long ago. He just 3D printed me if you guys remember the Bazooka bass tube box with a working speaker. He printed me one, but I never brought it home. The Igloo, what do you call that? The one that hold the sodas and stuff, the coolers. Yeah, he 3D prints those. They all work and stuff like that, and does all kinds of scale stuff which is really huge in Guam. They don't do much racing. They do racing on road there, but they use the MST front wheel drive platform, the one that you can convert from mid to rear to front. So they race front wheel drive over there using the touring car bodies, but they don't use the touring car bodies that I'm used to that are like paper. They use the heavy bitty design ones. So again, I ended up building an MST out there. I'm not completely done with it yet. I'm probably bring my ESC back with me, and they're running brush motors and stuff. So it's like they run in the evening time at some parking lot. They just have fun. It's only like probably about 5 or 6 guys that race out there for on-road, and that's something I didn't really get into. I got more in tune with photography out there. Was freelancing for PDN for a little bit while I was out there, Pacific Daily News, and then doing a lot of the night market photos. There's a lot of night markets that go on, like a flea market, but with a bunch of food trucks and vendors and stuff, they do this at night because Guam is super hot during the day. So yeah, but yeah, not bad for the Vanquish. I'm using that Elite integrated motor ESC. It was, I think it came out not too long ago, and yeah, Bert hooked me up with that. So I like it a lot. Very, very good hobby wing platform or motor. And then a lot of people the hobby wing, or they use the what's the other one, especially for the SCX 24 or for the smaller scale stuff. A lot of people use the Komodo stuff. So Fury Tech, there you go. That's another thing that they use. I got my TRX 4Ms over there, both Isaiah and I got a Fury Tech as well over there as well. So, all right. If John wants to puncture his tires, he can poke holes in there if he wants. I just already did his wheels for him. I'm not sure how he does it, but your tires do need to, if you don't poke holes through the bottom of your wheels or through your tires, they do balloon retardedly. And that because of the heat generated, it gets in, the holes are there to eliminate that overall expansion or that air expansion inside there. You don't want air trapped in there, and it kind of throws off there. Yep, Fury Tech. Yep, that's the one. I wish my computer was up because I could look at my computer rather than looking at the screen here. Again, Corey is on his way home, or he's on his way to Tampa. Oh wait, no, he's going to Tampa. I don't think he lives in Tampa. He lives somewhere else. Boy, John's tires are gonna be awesome. These things are sticky already. They feel sticky. These will be good. Make sure they're on there right before I put them in the glue jig. So you always want to use a glue jig. I don't know where mine's at, somewhere around here. I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is, right there in front of me. Coswork glue rig, got this from Extreme RC Raceway. You can on Avid as well too. But yeah, you go on here, put the wheel on here, but you got to make sure your foam and everything is set on there perfectly, because everything to be exact all the way around before press anything on there. So you want to make sure everything is G to G on there. To include the back, see, it's showing a little bit of lip, wasn't set there properly. Once you get it all, put it on your tire jig, push it down. I'll fold the lip back for you to glue a cool bead around there, release it, and it goes right back onto itself. Pretty easy. A little bit more that goes into it. I use tire bands on top of it, so take me a minute to glue these, but I don't have no problem. Got all the time in the world to do so. All right. Again, working on John's wheels and tires, and then I'll work on a couple of Jason's, and that way they got something to drive, like I said, over there at the track. Yes, if you could bring that, if you could pull up the HP laptop and pull up the YouTube on there with the live going on, that way I can see it, because I can't see it off my HP. I'm just going to jump straight over to Apple. I think on my next trip I will save to get a Apple laptop, because that seems the way to go, especially with all the video stuff that I'm doing. Again, I'm using the DJI mics right now. That's what I currently got on my thing right here, and I got the Nano with the camera system. I was playing with that the other day, so it's actually pretty cool on that. So all right, cool. Some more of these grapes. These grapes are great. Different taste with the cream cheese. Again, we will have the LRC Club Series race number 1 coming up this weekend. Practice starting on Friday. Please get a hold of Graham before you get onto the track, or before you drive on the track. If you live here in Springs and you guys are heading out there, it's almost a 2-hour drive. It's about 1 hour and 47 minutes to drive out there. Up near the Union Reservoir, up near Meade. Kind of used to that area. I'm on, usually if I'm going towards that area, I'm on the other side going to PFI Speed. So it's pretty much in that same general location. It's just across the street, or way I should say. So Yep, John's tires are set and ready to go. See, this one came right back up, and then all of a sudden
It just crashed.
it just crashed again. It popped right up and then popped right back out. Now that computer's done. That computer since 2016. That's how old that computer is.
Let's say it's plugged in, right?
No, take it off of this one.
No, I just used yours. It's the same charger. Just making sure yours is plugged in.
Oh yeah. It's the same. Oh, it's the same charger.
Why
Oh,
not
that's
that
cool.
one then?
Yeah, turn that one around. Mine's dead. Mine's got a kaput battery. Doesn't like me. Okay, yes, that was John's. So again, I'll glue these here in a little bit. Put these back inside the plastic. It'll let me know that I went ahead and did it. Again, thanks to Dialed RC, who is my tire sponsor, for getting our order here quick in 3 boxes. All right. No, right there's fine. With my crazy drink. That let's see. We'll go to the Pikes Peak RC Arena. Yeah, if you guys want to say what's up to Corey, he's on the chat before he gets on the plane. I know he's doing well. I know Ellie is happy as can be out there. Let's see if that comes up real quick. There we go. Boy, this computer way better than me. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're on live. Now I can see the chat comments. The servos that I use in my 8-scale stuff are a mixture of actually pretty much reefs. I've been a big fan of reefs. Let me turn down this volume. Big fan of reefs. I use the Reefs 500 in my buggy, and I want to say in the Truggy I'm running ProTech because that's what it came with. All right, so granted I'm sponsored, but my Techno buggy is the only brand new buggy I got. That's the one I bought separate. I wasn't sponsored at the time, but I bought that separately. My Truggies came from Thomas Prindle. So actually, it came from Nguyen first. Well, the electric one, and then that one came with ProTech servos. I think the only one that didn't come with servos was the Nitro. The Nitro Truggy was the only one that didn't come with servos when I got that from Tom Prindle. But running all ProTechs in those right now, and with the short course truck here, that was originally from Matt, which was a EB 2.1. It was a EB 48 2.1. So it was the model before the 2.2. Then it got converted using the Truggy chassis, and then got converted to a short course truck. And I think all my electronics, mainly like my motors and ESCs, are all minus Isaiah's. They're all Hobbywing. All right, Isaiah, since his was a sponsored buggy by Exalt, he has all Exalt electronics up in there. To include, I'm not even sure what servos he's running up in there. I think Nitro Pro. So, but if you want to get an awesome servo, again, Nitro Pro is probably the best top of the line servo to use for 8-scale. As far as racing and stuff, because they do have a great warranty program. So yeah, and then ProTech again. I'm running ProTech. I wish all my buggies are upstairs with my pack out right now, to include my table and generator and new stuff that I bought that's ready loaded up in the truck. So I got a big meeting tomorrow with one of my big bosses that just flew in with our company, and I'll go ahead and load the truck up and get ready to head out Saturday morning. I get in Wednesday right now, but me, I like to prep early. So again, I'm still only racing electric. I'm not even racing Truggy yet. And yeah, I'm running all ProTech in here. So yeah, ProTech in here. My truggy's running all is running reefs. Originally, I was running reefs in my electric buggy, my 8 scale, because I still run reefs in my 10 scale here, and reefs has never failed me. They also got a awesome uh, program too. If anything on your servos fail, I got a hold of them from Reefs, especially because they're Reefs Golds or they're Reefs Brass or whatever. They're 500s. They get kind of pricey, and they hooked me up. I've never had a reef fail except when I was driving my EB 48.2, and I was going into a turn, didn't hit anything. It just wouldn't turn anymore, and it found out the servo just went bad. It was just those things that happen, and that goes with any brand that you get, with batteries or whatever. So, you know, um, they hooked me up. I told them what happened, and they gave me a servo right back. All right. Wing also has a good program as well too, but it's an insurance program. All right. So you can insure your ESC, you can insure your motor, stuff like that. Um, I know for the ESC it's like $40 a year, but again, uh, yeah, they'll go ahead and or replace your ESC as needed, and they prorate it from there. So again, they got a pretty awesome program. I got a G3X that is on insurance program, and my son accidentally, actually on this touring car here, accidentally just barely brushed the wire lead over the battery or whatever, or the motor. I forgot what happened. It was just freak, and then just fried the ESC. Told Hobby Wing what happened. They went ahead and sent me a new one on top of their insurance that I have with them. So it was actually pretty cool that I did that. So there were some things that I had to juggle around with purchasing, but again, this car right here with all its Hobby Wing stuff on there is all insured to include its motors. But again, you do have to pay for that insurance program. Get with the other companies. Again, Nitro Pro and Reefs, they got an awesome warranty program. I'm not sure about ProTech, because ProTech, correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, ProTech's pretty much under A-Main. A-Main owns ProTech. So, and ProTech, you can't go wrong, and pretty much they're all made by the same people over in China. So, I don't know. John's proven it with the servos that he uses. He doesn't go out and buy all those expensive servos like Nitro Pros or the Reefs. He uses those Amazon ones, and the housings, and you take them apart, the gearing and the way everything's set up is identical, no different from ProTech or Reefs or Nitro Pro. They're just, the casings are different, engraved, so on and so forth. So it pretty much separates the whole thing. Includes your batteries too. And I'm sponsored by Jen's Ace. It's got a bunch of batteries that just came in with Jen's Ace. Let me see and pull out a 6300 here. Their programs are very, very awesome as well too. They got a very good warranty program as well too. If you have a battery that fails, and it just fails out of nowhere, yeah, Jen's Ace will take care of you. I remember I had a 6000 while I was out in South Carolina. It was just on the charger, and it just went to poof mode, and it expanded out like a fan. Contacted Jen's Ace from right there on that spot. They know that Rafi over at Extreme RC Raceway is a main dealer for them. They just told Rafi, go ahead and give me a new battery, give him my old battery, and or destroy it, however. And they gave me a new battery, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, oh, so you just got to contact them. So again, ProTech does the same thing too, just no different from Reefs and Nitro Pro. So again, I know a lot of the 8-scale drivers, they try to get sponsored by Nitro Pro. And then they try to get their sponsors with Jen's Ace. Obviously, the popular tires, actually the main two popular tire sets to go with back in, I want to say before last year was Proline and J Concepts, and now you have all these other companies coming out. TZO, AKA's been around for a while. VP Pro's been around for a while. Hot Race been out. So again, it comes down to your drivability and stuff. I went with Dialed RC. A lot of people are asking me why I went with Dialed RC. I know there's a guy here that was sponsored by him. He asked me why, and I was like, the dude actually drives and races, and as he races and drives, he actually testing at the same time, and then coming up with different designs and stuff like that, and different treads, and he has a great working relationship. talking with his team drivers and his managers where he asks for feedback and stuff, and we give him advice, or he gets advice. We give him suggestions, and he takes them into effect. Hence why the V1 was invented for the Truggy. Still, a V1 does with the bar style up here reminds me again like the relapses or the Eclipse. I forgot which one it was, mixed with the Reflex. And again, he came out with his own V1 version 2 tire for the Truggy, and I think that's an awesome thing that he's done, which is coming out this this June. So probably late May, June. Again, you can go into Dialed RC. He already has them there where you can order them and all the compounds that you may need. Soft long wear, soft, super soft long wear, so on and so forth. So whatever you want. Me, I stick to the 7s because I know the 7s very well. John here got the 5s. So see how he drives with those as well too. So, all right, I got John's tires here. I will glue these up here in a little bit. And these are ready to put back together. It is good to see Corey here on the chat. I think I talked to him like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And stuff, see how he was doing and stuff. These are John's part 2s. So again, yeah, it was actually good to talk to him. I think it was like the same, about the same time frame I was talking to Rome about the TNR Raceway and stuff. So, and I'm going to do a lot of videos for TNR for the simple fact there's only one video on YouTube featuring TNR, and that video was done by Ben Weaver. So again, thanks to Ben Weaver for shedding the light on TNR Raceway. Don't get TNR Raceway mixed up with TNR Fuels. I did. I thought that was the same thing. It wasn't. No, TNR Raceway, Thomas and Roman. So hence the TNR is totally different from TNR Fuels. So two totally different entities when it comes to that. You guys haven't met Thomas. Thomas is actually pretty cool. He's very deep into the scene, has a big passion for the RC community. No different from Rome. Rome was just over, I think, his first big race of the season, which started off pretty much in the beginning of January, was the Silver State Classic, which was a very, if you guys have watched that, that was a very, I want to say controversial race to a certain extent with the Phenom and Ryan Mayfield. Man, there was a lot going on there. It was a it was a kind of a hectic day for both drivers, and Fee came out on top. No, there's a little bit of argument here and there about it, but again, that's done and over with. That's just part of racing, and it happens. Okay, so, but then again, you know, when you're a sponsored driver like that, and you're a paid sponsored driver, as both of them are, yeah, I can just imagine the tensions are very high with that. So, cool. So the TNR race series. So the TNR, that's TNR Race Fuels. That's the series that just happened not too long ago. Was going on the same time as Silver State was in January. So that's TNR Race Fuels, and that's where I got mixed up at too. So TNR Raceway is solely here in Colorado. Granted, Rome lives in Indiana, and Thomas is here, but they used to have 3 races here. Now they only have 2. So they'll have the one up here in I want to say November timeframe. So it's like their turkey shootout or whatever that they have. So that'll be coming up towards the end of the season. So that'll be their season closure. This will be the season opener of what's happening next week with the St. Patrick's Bonanza. And again, Faster Laps, Matt Kyle, he's been so focused on Mini Z stuff. I think he is going to change the track up for Faster Laps. And again, with these 3 different tracks here, and there's only one seasonal track here that's only here during the season. The rest of the other 2 tracks, being LRC and Faster Laps, are year round. They have their tracks up year round, as opposed to TNR, which is held in a race, a horse race barn kind of facility, arena, I should say, a horse arena. So they do barrel racing and stuff like that in that arena. Hence why it's way out there in Black Forest. It's not even, it's like past Black Forest. So I know it's a 42-minute drive from here. Oh, race. Who's that? Johnson. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So the TNR race series, yeah, mainly held in SoCal area. So, all right, still getting situated, and I don't know what I did with my what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Again, sorry, we have part two of this. Kurt was asking where's part one. Part one, I think, is still getting uploaded. It should be on ready to view right now, but I had to leave the part one because we had a little animal situation here. And if you guys don't know, I got a bunch of pugs and a Frenchie, so I need my dogs getting all riled up. It was a little baby squirrel, and I had to take care of it real quick. It was up in the third floor, and yeah, definitely had to go take care of that real quick. It was scared. It was hungry, but as soon as I got it up to where it needed to be, it got lively and drank the water I gave it. So, which was actually pretty. All right, so there's Triple Nickel RC Raceway in Florida. Yes, Triple Nickel. That just happened not too long ago. I know a bunch of my homies go there. Justin, Rob, Joe Mendola, they go to Triple Nickel. They do that race, and I'll tell you what. Oh, they also call it TNR Raceway. Roman just needs a new name for that track. Oh, actually, yeah, I don't know. I guess because it's just Thomas and Roman, so it sounds like they're a couple. But oh, I won't piss off Roman like that. But yeah, I know those TNR. I know those TNR segments been around for a long time. So again, I got confused with the TNR race that was happening in Cali, and I thought it was Rome and Thomas's thing. Doing around the nation and stuff. I was like, man, these guys are everywhere. And I didn't know that it was just here in Colorado with the TNR Raceway. So, yes. And if you Google TNR Raceway, you'll see that there's multiple TNR Raceway things, not just RC car. It's also big race car as well, too. So, yeah, it kind of gets confusing a little bit. So I see where you're getting at, Corey, with that. But, yeah, I don't know. I know that's a lot of, I know it was confusing for me. So, seeing that. I'm gonna bring the vacuum cleaner down here. I'm gonna bring down the Corey special vacuum cleaner that I got from the arena. That thing works great, that Shark. I should have bought some tables. That's what I should have done. Bought some tables for Corey, because boy, I'll tell you what, Matt should have bought those tables, because now those tables are not cheap. They're close to $70 a table, and Corey was selling them cheap. I should have bought some. But I ended up getting this this table here, and I think Rich got the other table. I don't know what he's doing with it, but I know he got the other table. I also got the other little tables too from Corey. They're all up in here. So again, I brought the arena home with me. The race news segment aspect of things. Corey, how's the weather out there? Is it pretty good out there? Let's see. TNR covers Channel Island Raceway, Drake Raceway, all the other big tracks. Outdoor, on road, and yeah, see? Yeah, and that's where, again, Kurt, that's where I got so confused. I was like, man, Rome's doing big. But I don't know. That'll be something to talk to Rome about. Because like I said, it was very, very confusing for me at first. And I did not understand it. I'm like, whoa. Weather is awesome. I don't like you. I know weather was great over there in Guam. It was just I never left the hotel room. I did go out to the beach every once in a while. I'd go take pictures. Again, I'll probably post a couple pictures, because there's a lady that used a couple of my sunset pictures that I used or that I took, and used it on a lot of her products that she's selling now, which is actually pretty cool. I didn't want no money out of it. I was just happy that she used one of my pictures. And then again, taking a lot of portrait pictures of people over at the night market, and obviously with their permission and stuff. And yeah, they got some great photos. And PDM was like, oh, freelance. So I was like, cool, I'll freelance. Using a high-end Sony camera. And then I got this lens that's like this long. Big old long telephoto lens. Be taking pictures of the moon and stuff. Took a picture of Saturn. No, was it Saturn? It was Jupiter. Didn't come out as clear as I wanted. Never posted it because I didn't know how to set the settings for night or astrophotography as they call it. Right, I got those. Again, you guys are just getting on. And I'm jealous of Corey because the weather here has been garbage over here. Yesterday was like 80 something degrees, and this morning I woke up cold and half the mountain was covered, so it was like So I can just imagine LRC might be a little cold. We're gonna head out there earlier, and then I know TNR, it being indoor is going to be super cold, but I'm going to be pitting outside because I don't want to be around the fumes of nitro. I don't need my son getting sick either. So ended up getting up. I got my pop-up and then I got the sidewalls for it now. So that was one of the last things I ordered. Been prepping a lot for the 8 scale aspect of racing because there's a lot that goes into 8 scale racing as opposed to the 10 scale stuff where there's already a track set up. But if you're traveling, like most of your 8 scale tracks are always indoor or underneath some overhead cover, but it's still outdoor in a sense. It just requires you to bring bigger and more stuff. So hence why now I get why, you know, like Ryan Pacheco and them, they get these trailers and stuff. And then I saw that out in South Carolina. I seen some awesome rigs, man. I'm like, wow, these guys got some awesome rigs. There's a local driver here that got an ambulance. It's all murdered out. It's all black and stuff. And yeah, be working in Florence from Charleston. Where was that track you raced at? It's at it's right there in Charleston. It's actually right past Charleston University. And my brother is right down. Matter of fact, my brother should be over there right now because he's getting his I just sent my brother batteries and he's got the new D1000 charger from Gen 8. So stuff soldered over there right now. And that's over at the Extreme RC Raceway track. Actually, there's 3 tracks there in the Charleston area, Corey. So you got Monk's Corner, head by Ed Pasquine. His nephew and I both went to high school together. So that's how I know Ed. And that's an awesome track itself. Pretty much the same. It's got the same blue groove as Extreme. Extreme's got a little bit more grip. Then you got Sumter, which is actually a real popular track set in the Tuskegee Airmen Park, Sumter. It's only probably about, 45-minute drive from the Charleston area. But if you're up in that area, man, I'd definitely go see Rafi and see what he's about. You should go see his junkyard in the back of his shop. He needs to clear that, which is a perfect area for Mini Z. And I'm like, he just buys everything. People come in with used stuff and he just buys it all. So he needs to come into Jesus with that. Also, my brother will be there. He lives in Charleston, but XTRC Raceway right there in Ladson. It's right across from the flea market. And it's literally right next door to one of the main General Dynamics manufacturing plants that are there in Ladson area. The problem is the track is really retarded because they work around a three turn schedule traffic scheme out there. So if you don't get out there in a certain area, you can be in traffic. Let's put it this way. My brother was in between exits and it took him an hour and a half. And in between the exits, usually it's only like a minute and a half drive for us. If I was there working and then traveling back to the hotel, it's only like a minute and a half between the exits. It took my brother an hour and 40 something minutes because he got caught in that traffic window, which they have. They got 3 traffic windows. So you'd be surprised. 3 o'clock in the morning, there's traffic. And man, you'd be like, golly, it's crazy. So, yep, if you do head out there, Corey, the owner's name is Rafi. And he's got Mr. Goheen out there, who's his partner. So they're deep into racing. They love their stuff out there. You should go check them out. And they got a little bit of everything out there. Obviously, because of the demographics out there, everybody is in tune with the ARMA stuff. They're about more about speed than they are about the skill level of stuff. But you do have a lot of dedicated racers out there. Sponsored drivers from Rob P to Joe Mendola to Justin Simonson. And then you got a couple other guys out there, Colin Leonard, Anthony Rossi, Douglas. There are also other sponsored drivers out there as well too. There's a bunch of sponsored drivers in the Charleston area. A bunch of sponsored drivers out. Like I said, my brother should be in that area right now. What is all this plastic stuff coming from? Okay, trying to get it all off of the thing before I start gluing. But yep, that is pretty much it. Pikes Peak race news around the nation. Previously, Pikes Peak RC Arena, owned by Corey, who is online here right now. He kind of passed it down to me. I hope he sticks and gets back into racing. I know I am. He said he's going to get into some 8-scale stuff, and I'm sure he still has his hookups. And as he hooked me up, I'm going to hook him up. So he's taking care of me, so I'll try to take care of him as much as I can with getting stuff. Again, I'm using the Dialed RC products. My main tire sponsor, my battery sponsor being Jen's Ace. My Lexan body sponsor, who is also out there in South Carolina, is LFR, Lead Finger Racing. And then we have Techno. Obviously, I picked up my Techno, but Techno is my main sponsor, as my manager being Graham Hill, in charge of the LRC Raceway Garage. Now, when I showed you guys that race mat, which I just had, coming from RJ Mats, because RJ Mats is also located in South Carolina, their pit mat manufacturing area. There's a lot of manufacturing stuff that's going on over there. But they put down Pro One Design. So Pro One Design obviously was a sponsor of mine. I was just by a fellow teammate that I'm sponsored with in the other platforms, i.e. Gents Ace and Lead Finger Racing, to include Dialed. We're all on the same team. He just runs a different chassis than I do. Told me that Pro One Designs went out of business. So again, I won't be announcing Pro One Designs anymore. With my belly getting big anyways, I can barely see. I don't even see it. I see Jen's Ace. So again, Pro One Design, who was owned by Josh, went out of business. I don't know the extent of it, but I'll tell you right now, it was not good. All right. So he had a lot of people questioning his integrity of stuff on buying and purchasing and not meeting those needs. And it looks like he went out of business. So again, yeah, that's where that goes. So yes, on my shirt here, I do got Pro One Designs. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to order anything from him because we were waiting for products to come out. Hopefully, from what I was told, that he was developing some stuff for the Techno, but it never went that direction. So again, I've always expressed his little 3D printed tool caddies and other things. He did some stickers and stuff like that, but never really got anything from them or from him over there based out of Cali. So again, I don't know the whole extent. I just know on a customer or team driver aspect of things, it went sour. So again, hope you're doing well, Josh, and settling those things out there. And with the negativity, you know, hopefully it all gets all squashed out. But again, going forward, pretty much not in support of Pro One Designs anymore. Again, I do got Techno, definitely Dialed, definitely LFR, and my newest one right before I went to Hawaii, Ace. Again, thanks to Dell for giving me that opportunity with Jen's Ace. And like I said, they got an awesome program out there, warranty wise, depending on your condition or your case, what be. So again, got my son and I some new batteries. Again, don't forget to put your batteries in storage when you're traveling. I did charge a battery that was not a Gen's Ace battery. It was of a other brand, but my son was using it. And I was like, well, let me bring that battery with me as a practice battery, because before I got picked up by Gen's Ace, and I brought that battery along with a Gen's Ace battery, and I brought this other battery with me. I charged it up but didn't get to use it and forgot to use the battery to at least drain the battery or at least put it in storage. And I did not. And then when I got back from Guam and then heading out to Texas and then coming back from Texas, I went through my batteries and found that this one just poofed to the point where it opened up and butterflied, fanned out. And I was like, all right, I had to go put that out in the front yard on top of a big rock and left it there. And then we'll dispose of it properly. So if you guys do need a place to dispose of your batteries properly here in Springs, you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot. They will properly dispose of your battery. Might want to check with some of the auto parts stores as well too. AutoZone, O'Reilly's, or Advance. Check with them. I know AutoZone does because I know Rich has taken some batteries from the Pikes Peak RC Arena, Hobbytown, and taken them over to his place and then got them disposed of properly. So again, if you guys do got a battery that poofs up and it is a brand new battery, get with your battery dealer or your manufacturer, whoever you got it from, and see, you know, what can happen with that. I know Gens Ace took care of me before I was sponsored, and now they're definitely taking care of me now that I am sponsored. All right, so again, check them out. Gens Ace, Lead Finger Racing, Dialed RC, and Techno. Again, I am not the greatest driver in the world, nor do I claim to be, but because I do push content out there and I am loyal to who I support, that's one of the reasons why a lot of the people that I'm sponsored by pick me up. All right. You know, Techno could have passed me up. You know, it's just because I pushed out content for the driver, by the driver, no pro driver though. But again, I am still learning. I only started 8 scale last year, I want to say September, October timeframe, and for them to give me the opportunity. But this is the year of the club racer. For us club racers, there a lot of the aspect is going towards the club and support of them because they are the backbone of the RC community and they help out. Don't get me wrong, our pro drivers are like the biggest influencers out there that we all want to be, you know, but again, at the same time, you know, they're a big push to that. And then a lot of these things can't happen without the club racer. All right. But also, you know, this is one of the most expensive racing genres to get into as a whole collective around the world. Don't get me wrong, there's other RC stuff that is very, very expensive, but again, there's not as many as it is as a race aspect. Because don't get me wrong, you got RC airplanes up there, and I've seen them close to 30K, where an RC jet motor is over $10,000. The cheapest one being at a small price of 3K, and I've seen jets go all the way up to 5th scale. It's huge. It takes up my whole table back over there. It's a P-51 Mustang. It is huge, running on a big, humongous, I want to say it's a 150 cc or 200, I forgot what cc motor. It's huge. The prop blade is like this long from end to end. It's that big. So again, I've been building that thing for almost, well, I stopped building it for a while. Haven't touched it in a long while, I should say, but I was very focused on it, and I still all I gotta do is just finish up the wings, paint them, and then put the landing gear. Landing gear is like $2,000 for that thing. So again, at the same time, yeah, other genres of RC is very, very expensive. No different from touring car. Touring car can be cheap or it could be super expensive, and they do get very pricey. But again, to me, the most expensive all the way around, I want to say, is 8 scale. If you don't have a sponsor or a tire sponsor, because tires get very expensive, I want to say a set of 4 tires on average for a whole complete set, you're looking at $50. Probably about your cheapest being at $39, all the way to about $60, $70 for a set of 4 on the buggy tires. And then your truggy tires can go all the way up from $80 to $120 for a set of 4. So, and then these are the number one worn things out on your 8 scale. And then the bearing, see, servos are a little bit more higher in price, as with the motors and the ESCs. And then you get into the nitro motors. The nitro motors can be all the way up from $300, which I have this FPO2 right here. That's pretty much a $300 motor. It's probably one of the cheapest motors, and they can go all the way up to like $1,300, $1,400 for those Samurai motors or those Reds motors or whatever. They just could get right up there. But our budget racer, John, has proven you don't need the most expensive stuff to be triumphant. It's just a matter of taking care of that stuff. I've seen John take a pile of junk that I thought I was going to get but didn't get, but he ended up getting and got a steal for it. And Michael Maldonado won with that thing over at the last TNR event. So again, you know, with a little bit of finesse and a little bit of tuning and cleaning and stuff, you can polish a turd. Still be a turd, but you can polish it and still be drivable. But again, at the same time, it's all right though. So yeah, like I said, LRC's coming up, TNR's coming up. We're gonna have a great time. I'll be out there with pitting with John and Jason mainly. It looks like Swervin will be with us. What's up, Swervin, if you're watching this? And Gene will also be with us too, because we don't like the fumes inside the building. So we'll be outside. All our pop-ups are going to be connected together. Obviously, we're going to have the RVs out there, and we'll also have the trailers out there. So I'll see Ryan, I'll see Pedro, I'll see Gene, I'll see Chad, I'll see everybody out there. Rob Katnick, Zach Elred. I'll see all these guys out there from the LRC track to the TNR track, and then hopefully down here at the Faster Laps track as soon as Matt Kyle gets a schedule, and I think he's doing a track change. But other than that, I am Robbie with the Pikes Peak RC Race News around the nation. It is great to see Kurt on here, and always, always our founder, Corey Bosworth, enjoying that hot, sunny weather over there in Florida. I hate you right now because it's cold here. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great time. Corey, I'm glad your family and you are settling in. I know Ellie is very happy because every time I see a picture of that girl, she's always smiling. So polishing turds is my favorite pastime. Again, Kurt, yeah, you've done wonders I've seen with vehicles that I never thought would be. Again, Corey and I had tested like, what was that? What was that stupid Traxxas? It's not stupid Traxxas vehicle. What was that Traxxas vehicle that we couldn't get right? And then, but with a lot of money and a lot of time and effort, Kurt made it drivable and very competitive with that. All right. So as always, yes, I will see you next time, Corey. Hopefully we could cross paths again. If I ever get down to a trip right now, my biggest focus, and if you guys have not noticed, and if you guys don't see that many videos, I will try to push them out as much as possible. Being over there on the far Pacific, it is very, very hard. One, I'm about 14 hours ahead of you guys in the future, totally different time zone. And the RC community there is strictly mainly the crawler stuff, like what I got here. Now, again, this is probably one of the most detailed crawlers I've ever dealt with, as each piece is, you know, everything opens. Even the dash. I even got a cell phone in here. I think I got a bottle of water up in here with the fuel tank up in here too. I don't know. All these are 3D printed by Bert. He's done come out with like probably about 4 more different variations of the Jeep from doors. Again, they're all carbon fiber. The rooftop's carbon fiber, so on and so forth. But again, can mount the winch on here. I got my winch here. Got to mount that on here and stuff. So there's still a lot of stuff I still got to do on the rock crawling. But my big focus, again, is with the 8 scale stuff. This was just to kill time in Guam. And boy, did I kill time with this, because that was a lot of sanding. And this is all done in ABS plastic. And I think Bert is the only one in the world printing in ABS plastic for the rock crawling community via Toyota bodies of all kinds, to include the 4Runner and the Jeeps of different variations. All right. Oh yeah, the Rustler. That's what it was. So yes, Kurt took a Rustler and made it very competitive, racing with our local that's always racing stadium truck, Hector, and they were going head to head with that thing, which was actually pretty cool. So again, you don't have to have the most expensive vehicle, but again, Kurt took the cheapest vehicle and made it a very expensive vehicle with a lot of parts that he had to integrate in. But it was still, Kurt, was it still rear motor? It was still rear motor. So for most is the Revo. I don't know. The Revo is kind of super soft on its suspension, and the trail and track on that's totally different from these bad boys. But again, Matt Kyle does have a run what you brung class out there, and that'll be great to see the Revo out there, because you do got some Creightons that head out there. You got some other vehicles that are I've never seen before in my entire life race out there. Some couple Corrales that come out there in the run what you brung, and it's actually pretty cool to watch that, because you never know. You never know. You got some drivers that really, really surprise you, like Hector does to me. or Ziggy surprises me. Kurt surprises me with the stuff that he brings, and I'm like, golly. I see Kurt all over the Traxxas page, and I'm like, golly, Kurt's everywhere on this page. But I get it. He loves the Traxxas. I'm a big supporter of the Traxxas, and they got a very good community of support out there and customer support within the Traxxas community, being that they're very close here in Denver. So, I mean, not Denver, Dallas, I meant Dallas area. So they got a big, gigantic building out there. But again, I'm Robbie with the Pikes Peak Race News around the nation. I am finally out of here. I'll see you guys on the next live video. No, we won't do live. We'll do another vlog video. All right, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. Probably be in a couple days. Now I got to glue some tires. And my voice is going out. And I'm hungry. And I'll see you guys.